Hello everyone and welcome back to Physics Concepts. It's great to have you here. Today we're diving into a topic that's all around us, literally. From the light that lets you see this video to the sound of my voice reaching your ears, we're constantly interacting with waves. But what exactly is a wave? How do they travel? And how do they carry energy from one place to another? These are the big questions we're going to answer today. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of periodic waves, progressive waves, and the key differences between transverse and longitudinal waves. It might sound complex, but I promise we'll break it down into simple, easy-to-understand ideas. So, if you're ready to ride the wave of knowledge, let's get started. First things first, let's talk about what makes a wave a wave. Imagine you're at a still pond and you toss a small pebble into the water. You see those ripples spreading out from where the pebble landed? That's a perfect visual for a wave. A wave is essentially a disturbance that travels through a medium, which is just a fancy word for the substance it moves through, like water, air, or even a rope. The key thing to remember is that the wave transfers energy, not matter. The water molecules themselves just bob up and down. They don't travel across the pond with the ripple. The disturbance is what moves. Now let's get a bit more specific and talk about periodic waves. The word periodic simply means that the pattern repeats itself over and over again at regular intervals. Think about our pond ripple. It's not just one single bump. It's a series of crests and troughs that follow each other. A periodic wave is a continuous wave with a repeating shape. We can describe these waves using a few key properties. The highest point of the wave is called the crest, and the lowest point is the trough. The distance from one crest to the next, or from one trough to the next, is called the wavelength. We also have the amplitude, which is the maximum displacement from the equilibrium position, basically how high the crests are or how low the troughs are from the undisturbed water level. A bigger splash creates waves with a larger amplitude. Finally, there's frequency, which tells us how many complete waves pass a certain point per second. So, a periodic wave is just a repeating disturbance with these measurable characteristics. Let's expand on how waves propagate or travel. We've used the water wave example, which is great. Now picture a long rope tied to a post. If you hold the other end and flick your wrist up and down, you'll see a wave shape travel down the rope to the post. Again, notice that each little piece of the rope just moves up and down, but the wave pattern itself moves forward. This is propagation. Another classic example is a human wave at a sports stadium. People stand up and sit down in sequence. Each person only moves vertically, but the wave shape travels all the way around the stadium. No single person runs around the stadium, but the energy and excitement certainly do. This is the essence of wave propagation, the transfer of a disturbance through a medium without the net movement of the medium itself. The disturbance moves from one particle to the next, passing the energy along the chain. This brings us to a specific type of wave called a progressive wave. The name itself gives you a big clue. A progressive wave is a wave that moves or progresses from one point to another, transferring energy as it goes. All the examples we've talked about so far, the water ripples, the wave on the rope, the stadium wave, are types of progressive waves. They are moving away from their source. This is in contrast to something called a stationary or standing wave, which we'll cover in a future video where the wave pattern appears to be fixed in place. For now, just remember that a progressive wave is a traveling wave. It carries energy from point A to point B. Whether it's the sun's light traveling millions of miles through space to warm the earth, or sound waves traveling from a speaker to your ear, these are all progressive waves doing their job of moving energy around the universe. So, how exactly is this energy transferred? Let's go back to our rope. When you flick your wrist, you are doing work. You are putting energy into the system. This energy is given to the first segment of the rope, causing it to move. Because that segment is connected to the next one, it pulls its neighbor along, transferring the energy. This continues all the way down the line. Each particle in the medium acts like a little oscillator, moving back and forth or up and down around its fixed position. As it oscillates, it does work on the next particle, passing the energy along. The amount of energy transferred by a wave is related to its amplitude and frequency. A wave with a higher amplitude or a higher frequency carries more energy. Think about it. A gentle ripple in the pond won't knock anything over, but a massive ocean wave with a huge amplitude can carry tremendous destructive energy. Similarly, High-frequency waves like ultraviolet light carry more energy than low-frequency waves like radio waves. Now we're ready to discuss the two main categories of progressive waves: transverse and longitudinal waves. The difference between them comes down to the direction of the disturbance compared to the direction the wave is traveling. Let's start with transverse waves. In a transverse wave, the particles of the medium oscillate perpendicular, or at a right angle, to the direction of energy transfer. Our rope example is a perfect illustration of a transverse wave. You move your hand up and down, which is a vertical motion, but the wave itself travels horizontally along the rope. The motion of the rope particles is perpendicular to the motion of the wave. Light waves are another excellent example of transverse waves. They are oscillations of electric and magnetic fields that are perpendicular to the direction the light is traveling. The ripples on the surface of water are also mostly transverse. The water goes up and down, while the wave spreads out horizontally. So, whenever you see that classic up and down wave shape, you're likely looking at a transverse wave. On the other hand, we have longitudinal waves. In a longitudinal wave, the particles of the medium oscillate parallel to the direction of energy transfer. The particles move back and forth along the same line that the wave is traveling. The best example of a longitudinal wave is sound. When I speak, my vocal cords vibrate, pushing and pulling on the air molecules in front of them. This creates areas where the air molecules are squished together, called compressions, and areas where they are spread apart, called rarefactions. This series of compressions and rarefactions travels through the air to your ear. The air molecules themselves are just vibrating back and forth, parallel to the direction the sound is moving. You can visualize this with a slinky. If you lay a slinky on the floor and push one end forward, you'll see a compression pulse travel down its length. Each coil of the slinky just moves back and forth a little bit, but the wave travels all the way to the other end. That's a longitudinal wave in action. So let's quickly recap the key difference. For a transverse wave, the particle motion is perpendicular to the wave direction. Think up and down motion for a forward-moving wave. For a longitudinal wave, the particle motion is parallel to the wave direction. Think back and forth motion for a forward-moving wave. It's a simple but crucial distinction that defines the fundamental nature of the wave. Light is transverse. Sound is longitudinal. Both are progressive waves and both transfer energy, but they do it in these two very different ways. Understanding this difference is key to understanding a huge range of phenomena in physics, from music and acoustics to optics and telecommunications, and there you have it. We've journeyed from the simple ripple in a pond to the fundamental properties that define all waves. We've seen that waves are disturbances that transfer energy without transferring matter. We defined periodic waves with their repeating patterns, described by wavelength, amplitude, and frequency. We understood that progressive waves are the traveling waves that carry this energy from one place to another. And finally, we broke down the two main types. Transverse waves, where the oscillation is perpendicular to the wave's direction, like light, and longitudinal waves, where the oscillation is parallel, like sound. I hope this has helped you build a strong and clear foundation for understanding waves. They are a fundamental part of our physical world, and getting these basics right will help you understand so many other cool concepts in physics. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to Physics Concepts so you don't miss our next video. We'll be building on these ideas and exploring even more fascinating topics. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I love hearing from you and will do my best to answer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.